This is Hinchusatsu. It's Valentine's Day, the most romantic holiday that celebrates the warm, tender feeling of the love for the one that's special to you. Even if many of us have our Charlie Brown-like sensibilities for this holiday, I don't know what to do in this day. Bottom line, it may not be for everyone who feels lonely and neglected by all. God, I need some Smash Mouth in my head while painting. Speaking of neglected and Shrek, time for the next Titan picks. Sorry for dwelling, people, but we need all that steam to let out to feel some lost weight. Again, regarding the topic of neglect in Shrek, Gojira director Ishiro Honda had said, "The tragedy of monsters is that they're born too tall and too heavy." Regarding the fact that kaiju are unworldly and bizarre creatures that don't fit our definition of normal compared to regular animals that we're too familiar. Like the flawed, misunderstood beings that we are, we perceive them as a threat, and often never think twice before we strike back with any worse means possible, resulting in even greater lengths of consequences that have the viewer think in their character's shoes about their humanity. Kaiju are fascinating by all-out regards. They have emotional feelings that add complexity of how they represent, such as with the titan of the pick of this video, I'm going to review. Toho seems to achieve dominance as the main generator of all things kaiju eiga. Gojira was a smash hit in 1954, despite being barred by many negative reviews by Japanese critics. And its rushed-in-production sequel, Godzilla Raids Gen, the following year was mostly a modest success. But never do they ever think they would have a monster franchise. So literally after 1955, Toho placed Godzilla
Gigantus
in suspended animation in the ice, and Toho would enter the experimental phase with similar films like Godzilla, implementing the kaiju star as a product of the nuclear bomb from a prehistoric bygone era. As Honda would observe, Rodan set the man on the map as being the top director of tokusatsu eiga throughout the 50s, 60s, and 70s. So how exactly, for those living under a mine shaft resembling a rock, does Rodan demonstrate this point? Well, I'll explain with a huge, hard-hitting. The idea of Rodan came from the mind of novelist Ken Kuronuma, who outlined the kaiju from a horrible accident in 1948 when a US fighter jet pilot died pursuing an alleged UFO. Eerily, you see an echo in the movie in a similar scene where a Japanese pilot sees a mysterious object flying in a spiral, like it's Rocky the Flying Squirrel? Before the object is revealed to be Rodan. Duh! Only a small, obscure glimpse to build suspense and anticipation. Then a young, happy newlywed couple, in a famous scene in the movie. When we see him in his horned, leather-winged glory, he instills the onlookers, as well as the viewer, with fear in this one major image. We fans know who Rodan is, even if assuming most of us didn't watch his debut film, but saw the Showa-era Godzilla films, as he's personified as Godzilla's sidekick, who gets comedically kid-friendly looking. Going from, "Oh, not bad," to, "Ugh, his beak. Why is it bent down?" to, "Oh, come on, he isn't really that bad from a
Oh my goodness!"
Here, this is Rodan at his most dignified portrayal, combining the menace as well as strangely the heart. Rodan sets the template for many kaiju and other movies and TV shows alike. Rodan also displays credibility in how a good kaiju film is summarized, and having the kaiju applied to the story to explore emotion and turmoil. And how does that make any of us human than what we perceive the kaiju, given the terror they seem to exhibit on others, when we cause more harm than good at the expense of others? On the topic of the Valentine season, Rodan and his mate, who bears an odd color streak on her back but no sexual dimorphism of the horns, but whatever, share a tragic love story that puts the theme in place. And it's complex, without coming off as forced or contrived. It parallels with the human couple Shigeru, played by Toho's favorite Golden Age star, Kenji Sahara, and Kyo. The message of the film is that one is willing to stand by their loved one in more terrible times, such as facing ostracization from society as a scapegoat, in Kyo's case, or bringing a death sentence to the Rodans, even if it means wiping out a village that could send others who live there homeless. Immediately, the kaiju resonates our sympathy to them. They're still animals who are fighting to survive. Not that the couple deserved it. I love Rodan's design. It's very great and demon-esque. Complementing that standpoint would be from his curved-out signature dual horns, to the cold, soulless, black, great white shark-like eyes, and even his signature cackle. Sounding bombastic and somehow agonizing, you can really tell how desperate he and his mate sound when existing in a harsher world of fear and destruction, resulted by human folly. But Rodan doesn't stop there by just sympathy and a thematic standpoint. He comes packing with equally destructive arsenal than Godzilla himself. Godzilla's a metaphor for the atomic bomb, but Rodan is indeed Mother Nature's agent of punishment. While Godzilla just trudges forward and smashes cities with his hands, feet, and tail, Rodan just simply uses his wings to spread a great deal of hurricane-like windstorms, even only at one point fires a stream of air from his mouth. Seems Toho at this point on feels adamant to give Rodan a signature ability compared to Godzilla's blue atomic blast. And of course his famous trademark ability are the powerful shockwaves that he generates from his body as he flies over cities. He even exhibits intellectual survival strategies during the high-speed chase from the jets, diving head first into the river to avoid the gunfire before popping out. And yes, as everyone has pointed out, and I have to as well, Haruo Nakajima, who plays the title Kaiju, was suspended in the air until suddenly the wire snapped off and he plunged at least 20 feet into the water and almost drowned, until thankfully the leather wings not only cushioned the fall but even kept him floating. You know, just to end this video, if a sentient fried fish in a bathtub taught us, is that things can be beautiful in their imperfections. Take for instance the tear-jerking finale, as the Lady Rodan perishes into the lava as the military succeeds in triggering the Mount Aso eruption with their missiles, and the beautiful sweeping Akira Ifukube score plays. Rodan doesn't fly off to live another day, but dives into the magma to die together with his mate. When in fact, it was mostly an on-set accident, as they were supposed to slowly succumb to the heat of the lava. One of the wires supporting one of the small Rodan props snapped off, but Eiji Tsuburaya, the special effects director, instructed the wire operator to improvise and vigorously fish out the prop out of the lava, while an added sound effect was included, making it seem like Rodan lets out one last devastating roar before falling into its death. The results are poetic and bittersweet, with how Kaiju can show us the true meaning of love. This has been Hinchusatsu, and Valentine's Day only comes once a year, right? Somebody once told me the world is gonna roll me, but ain't the shit. Thank you for watching, and have a happy Valentine's Day. And if you still want to see more videos like this in the future, or give me some ideas for potential new videos, please leave a comment below, and please help support my channel by hitting the like button, hit the notification bell to be notified for future videos if you're ever interested. And please always make sure to hit the subscribe button, and it will really mean so much to me if this channel reaches to new heights one day. Thank you as always. Later.